It's a busy time, and it's also a dangerous time, a time that we could use out to create tremendous NKN, and a time that we can destroy lives in the name of sometimes things that are not really what they seem to be. And TP parents are masters of taking every situation and using it, as Chazal teach us, as our Gedolim teach us, to increase NKN. There are many, many stories, and I'm not going to go through them now, but there are many stories where Gedolim did things that Ketanim would never do. There's a story of somebody that ate gebrux at a tish, and everybody was making fun of him, and that Rebbe asked for the bowl of gebrux, the matzah in the soup or whatever it was, to be brought up, and he ate it. All the Ketanim were freaking out. And he said, it's better to eat gebrux than malbim pnei chaver barabim. We're human beings, and as human beings, we really don't know how to juggle stuff. So to us, a chumrah, we don't know the level of stuff. And we'll kill. We'll kill. Malbim pnei chaver barabim is terrible, not just for the other person, but it's terrible for ourselves. And there are many stories. Story of the Chavetz Chaim that on the last day, he did not eat gebrux. But his wife had an uncle that did eat gebrux, and he wanted him to feel comfortable. He wasn't sick. And when they served him gebrux, first of all, he didn't say, in my house, we don't do this. If you want to be my guest, you're not getting that. He said, make him gebrux. And then he tasted it against his minhag to make the man just feel comfortable. We have to break out of the molds that are not true Yiddishkeit. And everybody really should, but we have no choice because our kids' lives are at stake. And everybody go to your gadol, and they'll teach you what you're supposed to do. And as crazy as it is in a matzav of pikuach nefesh, or even just a matzav of yinasu l'mashcham ha'oises tahava, we don't do anything unless Hashem tells you that you need to do it. And the Rabbanim are not saying it. So our kids bring in chametz. They could eat it at the table. Your Rav will teach you how to deal with it without being malbim pnei chaverei. And the main thing to realize is the higher the NKN, the less of a big deal it is. The more respect they show you, the more you could even say to them, do me a favor. And you don't even need, that. My point is, you never even need to ask for the favor, because the NKN already, they do what you would have wanted the year before. Whatever you would request, could you please, you raise the NKN, you'll get that. That's the whole medicine that we're doing. I don't like answering questions. What do we do? She brought in a boy. Do the program, and she won't bring in a boy. What do we do? She brought in ding dong. There's a delivery, chametz, never happens. Okay, Lashana Haba, next year, hopefully it won't happen. How? Do TP. Properly with the gifts, the weekly gifts and the bombs and the really nafshik kids who feel super comfortable and respected. They just do less of that. And until then, you ask your Rav. Your Rav will tell you that you're not chayav for what somebody else does. Even if it's in your house, there's no kinyan chutzner. Even if it's in your garbage, you just wrap it up afterwards. And if you have to sacrifice a tablecloth, you sacrifice. You don't go, there's none of that. You do what the Gedolim would do. We're forced to act like Gedolim, not Ketanim. And when you act like a Gadol, you feel like a Gadol. You don't feel like this kid is killing my life and ruining my life. So Hashem should help. You should all be zeichet to do what you need to do in this matzav, Nisayin ha'oini. And L'shana haba, you should have the Nisayin ha'oisher of having tremendous Yiddish nachas from all of your kids. But don't forget the tools that you learned. Never to judge, never to look down, never to pressure. And a lot of parents convince themselves, what did I do? What did I do? Ki'ilu, like they're fooling. The only people they're fooling is themselves. Kids are very, very sensitive to pressure, and it doesn't work. The Gedolim are very sensitive to pressure, and they say it doesn't work. Only Darkei Naya. So pressure, if you're arguing, I think it is pressure. It's not pressure. It's far away from Darkei Naya. Make sure you do everything with Darkei Naya with all of your kids. You explain to all your kids we're doing tshuva, and we stopped the Holocaust parenting. It's over, and now we're doing erlicha, authentic Torah parenting, the way the Gedolim did it, We don't get aggravated. We don't get angry. Everybody wants the kids to grow up well. So how do you teach them? When something goes wrong and a kid does something wrong, you say Gamzu L'Taiva. Then the kids learn to say Gamzu L'Taiva. But if something goes wrong and you say, I told you 100 times, how come you did that? And you scream, they learn how to scream. One of the Gedalim said that he saw a father get angry at his kid for talking during davening. So the Gadol said that the father taught his son two things. That it's very bad to talk during davening, and that it's okay to get angry. Right? I see you're chuckling. Terrible. What about the chinuch on that? You could teach anything you want without being angry. But once you have anger there, and the Siva Shalom says, how do you think that mehakas hazeh, that is ki'ilu eved avodah zarah, that from this kas, in the middle of bowing down to idols, you're not in your kelim, and you think you're going to do chinuch l'teiras Hashem? Nothing happens when you're angry. Calm down, wait a week, and then you can sit down and you could do proper chinuch. Listen, Yankee, we had a problem last week. What are we going to do about it? For younger kids who are healthy, listen, I think that you need to be punished. What do you think? Kids will agree. So you know what? How about I'll let you choose a punishment? Kids will be reasonable. Sometimes they'll come up with a more difficult punishment than you. Sometimes they'll pick a punishment that you think is harder, but it's easier for them. For example, so you know what? How about either you can't go out to a friend's house, which I think I think all punishments basically are stupid, but I guess that's kind of the point. We're going to make you miserable, and then you're going to make us miserable. But okay. So like either you have to go to sleep early, right? For 2 days, you have to go to sleep early, or you don't get money. Let's say for one kid, going to sleep early is the worst possible punishment. The other one doesn't mind. He'll read a book for an hour. He doesn't care. For one kid, taking away money, it's their status, it's their nash, it's the worst thing in the world. They'd much rather you cut off an arm. And the other kid, I don't really need money. It's okay. I have a friend who'll give me nash. I'll live without nash. So you also have to know your kid, and you can't give the same punishment to every kid. Anyway, you should all be gebenched. If somebody could please take notes, it would be very helpful that people who come in late or are not on here or even on the main chat can learn from the lessons that we've learned together on the Zoom chat every week. If you could post it on the main TP chat, just like put a star, they have nice emojis, a fire or something. Lesson learned, lesson learned, lesson learned, lesson learned. And it really would be great if we can compile that somehow by the end of the year